Hi there, my name is John Caldora, and I'm an incoming freshman to George Mason from Westfield, New Jersey. It's a small town about a half hour outside New York City. And I'm here to tell you today why I chose to go to George Mason. I didn't choose to go there for the more than 200 clubs and activities simply because I don't have time for 200 clubs and activities. There are only 24 hours in a day, and I have to sleep for at least 6 of them, so that's not why I chose to go to George Mason. But I am going to go to some of the clubs. I'm going to go to the Catholic Campus Ministry on campus. I'm going to go to the Young Republicans Club. I'm going to be a part of the newspaper, Broadside. I like journalism, even though I'm studying for a degree in government and international politics. I also didn't choose to go to George Mason for the campuses throughout Northern Virginia, as well as one in the United Arab Emirates, because everything I need is on the Fairfax campus, and that's where I'm going to stay. And because, honestly, going to a school in the desert isn't for me. I do not like heat. I can't stand heat, so why would I go to a school in the desert? Although it does sound very cool. Maybe I'll go. I also didn't choose it for the Division I athletics program because I am not an athlete. You do not want me on George Mason's basketball court. I'll probably end up making a fool of myself and the whole school while I'm at it. But it is cool to watch sports while you're there. And whenever you say, I'm going to George Mason, they say, oh yeah, isn't that the school that made it to the Final Four a few years ago? Yeah, we are that school. And honestly, our sports program is great, and if you want to go to college for sports, that's where you want to go. And I also didn't choose it for the fact that we're the #1 up-and-coming college, according to U.S. News and World Report, because, well, we are, and that's great. Let's make sure that we are the #1 up-and-coming college, according to ourselves. Now, why did I choose to go to George Mason? Well, it's for several reasons. First of all, the Honors College. We've got great classes, classes in where you can research your own topic, write a paper on it, and get a grade for it. Classes like a liberal arts perspective to calculus. I don't like math. I like the liberal arts, like the writing, the English, the history, so that's good for me. And we've got a living learning community so that all of the honor students can live together in one place, actually in Jefferson Hall, which is part of President's Park, which is kind of up on the hill away from campus a bit, so it's a nice walk to get down to campus, or you can take a shuttle too. I also chose to go for the academic scholarship. I got a 50% academic scholarship when I went to George Mason, and so if you can not pay full tuition and get to go to college at the same time, that's great. Besides that, there's also the cost. You can get the same quality education you can get at any one of the private universities nearby for less at George Mason. And then there's the location. It's close enough to Washington. It's about 45 minutes from the National Mall. If you take the shuttle to the metro and then take the metro to the mall, it's about 45 minutes away, which is good. If you have an internship or if you just want to see the Smithsonian. I'm partial to the Air and Space Museum myself, or the American History Museum. They're both great. If you get a chance to see the exhibit there on the presidency, it's also great. But it's far enough away from the hubbub of the city that you don't have to deal with like traffic and people all the time. Well, people as in you don't have to deal with the crowds of tourists or things like that. Although going to Washington as a tourist is fun. I've done it a lot of times over the years. Oh, and finally there's the food. I like food. Specifically, I like good food. And Southside, which is the new buffet opened at George Mason, is a great place to go for food. You can get anything you want there. For example, they have a huge pasta bar where you can choose whatever kind of pasta you want. They have a salad bar. They have a wrap bar. They have a huge grill where they cook different things every day. And you can eat all that you want, but you can't pick up all that you want. There aren't any trays, so you just take a few things with you at a time, so you kind of make sure you don't overeat or don't waste food. They're very environmentally conscious, which is also good. So that's why I chose George Mason. You might choose it for some of those reasons or for other reasons, and I hope that we'll see you there.